So for this video, you're going to need any kind of moisturizer for your hair. You're going to need a pair of scissors and your Marley hair. This pack that I have has 3 packs of Marley hair in it and some braiding hair. The braiding hair is optional. I'll show you guys what I do with that later. So we're going to start on freshly washed hair. And I'm just going to start by parting my hair. I'm not using a comb because I kind of like the natural partings to my locks. And I'm going to just start adding the moisturizer and I'm going to start braiding my hair. Well, I'm not braiding it, I'm doing 2-strand twist on it only because it's quicker to install and it doesn't really matter like what's underneath the Marley hair because it's all the same, it's just going to be wrapped. So I do the 2-strand twist to save me some time and make the install a little quicker. So you're just going to continue twisting the rest of your hair. The back section of my hair, I don't add any braiding hair because that's going to be like the shorter ends of the bob length that I'm trying to do, so I just use my natural hair. But once I get towards the front of my hair, I will start adding the braiding hair. So I do the same thing as I did before. I part my hair, I add my moisturizer. I'm only using half of the braiding hair because I don't really need a lot. It's not going to be like a long bob. So I'm just using a little bit just to add a little length to the front of my hair. I start off by doing a braid with 3 strands and then I insert 2 pieces of hair just to make it longer. If you guys want to see how I do that, I will link my other video somewhere up top so you guys can see like the kind of detailed way to do it. But since I've already explained that, I'm not going to like really explain it too much here. And then I just do the 2-strand twist all the way down. Again, I start off by doing 3-strand braid and then I add in some braiding hair. Once I braid it over a few times with the added extensions, I then continue the rest of the braid with like a 2-strand twist. I add the braiding hair to 2 rows up front, and then once I get to the top of my hair, I continue to do the 2-strand twist on my natural hair. I only need 2 rows to be a little longer so I can get that kind of A-line bob look to the locks. You guys will see what I mean once I cut the hair and all that good stuff. But I go back to use my natural hair towards the top so it can kind of have layers to it. So yeah, this is just me continuing to twist up the rest of my hair. Once I'm done braiding up my hair, I put it up in a bun so I can go ahead and start wrapping it one by one. When I start wrapping my Marley hair, I don't start at the end of the Marley hair. I place some of it in with my braid, so that way when I'm wrapping it, that part gets wrapped with my braid as well, and it holds and it doesn't unravel. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but that's how I do it. I don't just start at the tip of the Marley hair. Then I continue wrapping all the way down. When I'm wrapping it down the first time around, I do not wrap it tight. I kind of wrap it very loosely. Once I get to the end of my natural hair, I wrap it on the Marley hair. Like I wrap it up on the Marley hair. Then I cut the extra piece that I don't need, and then I begin to wrap the Marley hair above my natural hair that I just wrapped to secure it. Once I feel like I've wrapped it a few times enough to secure it, I do a little knot in the Marley hair to secure it, and then I continue wrapping it until there's no more hair left, and then I roll it in the palm of my hands to kind of knot it up. After that, I take the piece that I just cut and I take a small section of it and I begin wrapping the lock with that. And when I wrap it tight so it begins to form textures and lumps that kind of makes it look a lot more natural. because when you just wrap it the first time with Marley hair, it looks very uniform, but when you go over it with that second layer of hair, it like creates dents and textures in it, and that is the look that I go for when I'm doing my locks. And then I'm going to begin wrapping the rest of my hair. I start at the base and I wrap it very loose when I'm going down the first time. Once I get to the end of my natural hair, I take my natural hair and I wrap it on the Marley hair so I can secure the end. I cut the section off that I don't need, and then I begin to wrap the Marley hair above my hair to secure it so it doesn't unravel. I do a knot in the Marley hair to make sure that it doesn't come off, and then I continue wrapping what's left. Once I'm done with that, I take a small section of the hair I just cut and I begin to wrap very tightly just so I can start creating those lumps and textures that I was just telling you guys about. Sometimes you'll need more than just one strand to complete it, just so you can get the texture that you want. And then I do a couple knots in that as well, just so I can make sure it doesn't unravel on me, because I am not burning these ends at all. Because once you burn them, it kind of gives it the look of not being real, so I try not to use any heat on them. Once I do all the locks in the back, I take the hair down so I can cut the extended pieces that I added. What I do is I line it up with the locks in the back and I cut a little below that length so it could be a little longer in the front. Again, I'll show you guys on this side. I'll pull it so I could, get the full length of it. I'll measure it up to the locks in the back and then I cut a little below that. And then I do the same things I did before. I continue wrapping my hair. Now that I'm on the last section of my hair, I'm going to show you guys one more time how I do it. I take the Marley hair towards the root of my hair and I start wrapping it. At the root, I make sure it's very secure so it doesn't unravel, but then once I'm wrapping all the way down, I do it loose. Once I get to the end of the hair, I use whatever's left and I wrap it on the Marley hair to secure it so it doesn't go anywhere. I cut the extra piece off, and then I wrap the Marley hair over the hair that I just wrapped. That creates the natural lock look. And then to secure the Marley hair, I put a knot in it so it doesn't unwrap on me. Then I take a small section of the hair that I just cut and I wrap over that so I make sure it doesn't go anywhere and that it doesn't unwrap. I also put knots in that as well so it doesn't unwrap on me, because I am not using any kind of heat on this, so I'm just trying to make sure it's secure as possible. Then I go over the lock with the small strand of hair so I can start creating that texture and the lumps in my locks to make it look a lot more natural and less uniformed. And I do this as much time as I need to, just to make sure that it looks the way that I want it to look. And then I, knot it up a few times. I roll it up in the palm of my hand. I do all of that to make sure that it's very secured. And that's it. That is everything for how I achieve these locks.